Guys, thanks for joining us today. And every week, if you're one of those that, like my patrons that join and support the podcast every week, look, all I ask, if you're here for Johnny Knoxville, you don't know who the hell I am, great. Doesn't matter. But if you really enjoy the episode and you're like, wow, it was a good interview, I hope you'll listen to others and support us and write a review and subscribe. And if you want to join Patreon to support this little podcast, that would be great. Patreon.com/inside of you. We could use your help. Johnny Knoxville was fantastic. He was sitting right where you are, and he was really humble and sweet and open. He cried, got emotional. We talk about his podcast, Pretty Sure I Can Fly, which just is dope. Smartless is producing that, so that's a big one. And when they're producing it, you're going to get some numbers.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish we were on Smartless.
Do you? Should we be? Or do you like being the underdog?
We're the underdog,
being the
folks.
little guy.
Yeah.
Trudging along.
Yeah. Well, follow us too at Inside of You Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, at Inside of You Pod on the Twitter. And you can go to my Instagram at the Michael Rosenbaum and my link tree for cameos and cons that we're going to be signing at. Also, my fart book is coming out. You can pre-order it on Amazon. The Talented Farter. You have to check it out. I think you're going to really enjoy it. It's funny. It's touching.
Touching?
Yeah. And Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. My product on Amazon as well, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. You put a cap full in your dog's water, odorless, tasteless, and your dog's breath smells good. I use it every freaking day, and hopefully you'll get some. And if you want any merch, Inside of You online store, which is fantastic for Lexmas scripts and signed and Funkos and tons of other stuff. And it's all sorts of goodies, I guess you could say. What else? Ryan?
I like that I have now finally seen Lexmas, so I know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
You keep saying
Lexmas scripts.
I know.
Right.
Now
it's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Yeah, we loved it.
Yeah, Lexmas was a great script.
Yeah.
A great episode.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. A lot of great stuff going on, and I hope you're taking care of yourself and going to therapy, BetterHelp, or wherever you go. Hopefully you use BetterHelp. And I've been going to therapy, and I've been doing it and trying to get myself right. Ryan. You still using BetterHelp?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, good. It's important. I think it's important for the routine, to keep a routine, to keep something going on in your life that's positive. And so there you have it. Great interview. I think you're going to really enjoy this Johnny Knoxville episode. And let's get inside of Johnny Knoxville. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. The first thing you say when you sit down, you're looking at the Dracula poster, and you're like, I was Keanu Reeves stand-in?
Yeah.
The whole movie?
Stand-in and photo double, the whole movie.
How did you score that?
I was just doing extra work at the time, and just they happened to call me. And
how old are you at this point?
91. I'm 19 or 20. And it was, they did a lot of they didn't use a lot of camera tricks. They filmed it like they did, stunts and camera things old timey. So when he goes to the window and opens the window and looks out,
they spray smoke and do stuff. And
they had me up off the ground like 20 feet with a window in front of me, and I'm parallel to the ground. And that's one of the days that Coppola came to second unit. His son Roman was directing second unit, and so he was telling me how to
being directed by Coppola.
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah.
Were you nervous?
Sure. Yeah. There's another time Coppola gave me direction on that. It was a scene where he's shaving in the mirror.
He cuts himself.
Yes, but it's me here, the back of my head here, and he's here, and so he had to, mimic what he's doing.
Were those long ass hours?
No, we got it pretty quick. But I tell you who I was. I mean, Johnny or Keanu was super nice, but Oldman, and I'm sure I don't think I'm talking out of school because I think
He's my favorite actor of all
he's
time.
sober now and he's been sober.
Yeah.
But he was drinking on that picture, and you know, and like sometimes I mean he'd be 12-hour shoots and he'd be, you know, pretty well into his cups before they said action. I'm like, no way he's pulling this off. He'd be in full Dracula makeup and he'd just be yapping, and they would say rolling, and it would all go away, and he was perfect. It was amazing to see.
Were you like almost nervous for him, and then all of a sudden he transforms?
You just killed it every time.
You know, it's funny because when I'm on set, I can't like always be in a character. I'm always goofing off, farting, making the crew laugh, and then action, and I go. It's just something that I've done. So I can understand that. But when you're playing such an intense role like that, and he has to be like this, it's amazing how he could just turn it on.
And he wasn't always, you know, outwardly, you know, cutting up just because of the booze. I think that was his nature on that film for whatever reason. I haven't worked with him on any other thing, but just to watch him go from that to complete focus.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's really good.
DiCaprio did that in the movie with the where he was autistic. You know, he's an autistic kid with the heavyset woman. What was it called? Gilbert
Grape.
Gilbert Grape.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Yeah, he did that. They say he was just cutting up, and then he'd go into this character, and just like when they said action.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman, there's a laser disc that I have of Dracula, of the movie, and there's these outtakes and behind the scenes stuff, and he didn't get along with Coppola. Did you know that?
I didn't. I wasn't that far inside.
Right. Well, I obviously I wouldn't know, but I saw this, and they're talking to him, and he's doing this scene where he's supposed to come out as this giant vampire, and they're rehearsing it. And he goes like, Gary goes, I can't just do that. I can't, I'm a fucking 7-foot bat, Francis. You know, I'm not going to fuck in there going head to head. And I told the story, but like they interviewed Gary, and they're like, you didn't get along with Francis Ford Coppola. He's like, no, when you're in an industry like this, you have to have a great ego. And Francis Ford Coppola has an ego the size of San Francisco. And I've got a pretty big one too. And that was all he said about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't imagine. Like, yeah, if he's drunk, it's not going to help. And I heard he was a bad drunk, right?
I don't know about that. I just know how he was on the set. I never saw him be mean to anyone. He was just boisterous.
Were you ever a bad drunk?
If I don't eat before I go out drinking and I have a lot, then it's usually trouble, right?
Trouble how?
Just
do stupid or shit.
Yeah, fights or.
Why is that?
I don't know. I can't do it. But on the other hand, I can be rowdy sometimes, but I'm like, my dad was not a great drunk. He was no fun to be around. It was like, it sucked, right? It was never physical, but a lot of like mental and emotional, like just growing up in a combative atmosphere. And I was like, no matter what, I'm not going to be that.
You're not going to be the instigator, provoker.
Well, no, I didn't say that. I just said that I'm not going to frighten people, my family, you know?
Yeah.
But some people, I think, when they drink, they just can't help but be that. They have a problem, right?
Yeah.
So I can be a handful sometimes, but, you know, I'm pretty situational.
You're pretty situational. You could have one beer and you're fine.
Oh, sure.
Like you don't need to say, I'm going to have 10.
No.
You've never been like that.
Oh, there's times in my life where I've drank too much, right?
Yeah.
Going out to bars too many nights a week and drinking way more than I should. But I could always, if push came to shove, I could always reel it in.
Yeah.
So.
Were you fearless? I mean, because you're obviously fearless in so many ways, as the world has seen. But like, you know, you say you got in fights and stuff. Were you sort of a guy who like wouldn't back down? You're like, fuck, I don't care. I don't care if this guy's bigger than me. If you're drinking a little bit and somebody's starting shit, you'll go.
I'm not fearless. I can manage my fear. And I've lost quite a few fights to like 2 or more people, because my thing is not like I'm not a badass. I never claimed to be tough, but I don't like to be bullied. I don't like 2 guys or 3 guys thinking they can back me down.
Right.
And so, yeah, there's been some of those instances.
Do you think that stems from like childhood at all? Do you think like, maybe the way your
Sure.
dad was?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like that with authority.
Being bullied as a child, just, him coming home drunk, and like he was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. When he's not drunk, he was amazing, super funny. But when he was drinking, it was total hell. And yeah, it's just a lot of constant fights, and it was out of my control. Right.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't explain how it makes me feel when someone tries to bully
I don't know
me.
what it is too.
It's like
you don't like feeling
absolute
like
rage.
You get rage.
Yeah, like if someone thinks
says you're not fucking doing that, or shut up, or something.
No. Like that's different. I'm talking about 2 or 3 guys coming up and like trying
picking
to
on
fight
you, taking
me.
advantage.
Yeah. So that is different.
Most guys would,
but I
not do that.
I don't react with rage to. I don't know. I can't think of a situation where someone would tell me to shut up.
I'm sure a lot of people have told you to shut up before.
Yeah, but not in an angry way. I'm pretty chill, as long as you
don't push your buttons.
Come at me a certain way. But I like, and I also like being in uncomfortable situations.
You do?
Sure.
You like being uncomfortable. What kind of situations do you like being in?
On a set, for instance, and another actor is acting absolutely terrible, just being a complete dick to everybody. Sometimes to me, like over the line asshole. I think it's the funniest thing. As long as they're not being like disrespectful to someone, and as long as they're not punching down, right? Then that will
enrage you.
Yeah, but as long as they're just making themselves look like an ass, even if it's at my expense, it's the funniest thing.
And what do you do in those situations? You just laugh, or do you ever tell them to shut up?
I've talked about this maybe once before, and he's passed now, and Tom Sizemore, great actor, a lot of demons, and it was one of my first films, and he was just an ass to me for the first 2 weeks. Every chance he went out of his way to be a dick to me, and I had every line with him. Right, we were a comedy duo in the movie,
and you looked up to him, and you like.
I don't know if I looked up,
but you like as an actor, maybe.
Oh, he's a good actor,
right?
Yeah.
I didn't look up.
Pretty careful how I choose my heroes.
Yeah.
You got to be careful how you choose your heroes. You can get in a real mess that way.
Oh yeah, Tom Sizemore was my hero. No, I didn't mean it like as your hero. I just meant like he's someone like, hey, look, I look up to him as an actor. He's
sure.
But he was treating you like shit.
Yeah, like the first table read, because I already thought that I was going to get fired from this movie because it was a movie called Big Trouble. Barry Sonnenfeld directed it. First big movie I did, and like first thing that I auditioned for. And luckily I got it, because I am terrible at auditioning. I mean,
who isn't? Some people are good. Obviously.
I'm terrible. I was shooting Jackass at the time and sprained my ankle, right? So that was the first knock. I was like, okay, I'm going to get down to set, and they're going to see my ankle sprained, and they're going to fire me. And then I got word they're flying me first class. I'm like, this is terrible news. Because all these nice things are happening to me, and they're about to be taken away.
Yeah. Inside of You is brought to you by Rocket Money. Everybody should have this app, Ryan. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't everybody have this app? You have this app. This app saved you money.
It did.
Do you know what Rocket Money is, folks? It's a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spendings, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. This is just absolutely genius, and everybody should have Rocket Money. I have Rocket Money. And the fact that if you want to watch a show sometimes on a streamer that you don't even have that streamer, but you want to see the show, so you subscribe for free, but then you forget about it and you realize, oh, they're charging me every month and I didn't even realize it. And now I owe $80 for watching some show I didn't even like.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Rocket Money steps in. And Rocket Money has saved so many people so much money. I think they're genius. You know, it's been said that most Americans think they spend about $62 a month on subscriptions, but you know what the real number is, Ryan? It's closer to 300.
Yikes.
Big difference. Even if it's just a couple of subscriptions that fall under your radar, all right? Those recurring payments you don't even know about can really add up. Thanks to Rocket Money, I'm no longer losing money. Ryan's no longer losing money because of subscriptions I forgot about.
With Rocket Money, you can see all your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For any you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with just a few taps.
Yeah, Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lowering your bills, as we talked about, sometimes by up to 20%. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save, and then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and have saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/inside. That's rocketmoney.com/inside. rocketmoney.com/inside. Inside of You is brought to you by Qualia Mind. Now, this is a product I really love. And what's great about this is how much better I felt after taking this. And they weren't even a sponsor at this time. I was using this before they were even a sponsor. And it's pretty freaking incredible. Our sponsor, Qualia, combines 28 of the most research-backed nootropic ingredients on Earth into the ultimate brain fuel formula, Qualia Mind. And it's been changing people's lives for years now.
The formula is non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, and the ingredients are meant to complement one another, factoring in each ingredient's effect on helping to support mental clarity.
Yeah, and you know what's great about this? They put their money where their mouth is. It's backed by a 100-day money-back guarantee, so you have almost 3 months to try Qualia Mind at no financial risk and decide for yourself. Let me tell you a little story, Ryan. I was talking to my mother about this. I sent her a whole bottle of this stuff, and I'm not kidding. I swear to God, I talked to her yesterday and she said, because she was thinking about getting on antidepressants and all this stuff. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. All I know is she says this helps her substantially. She says she feels sharper, her memory. This is what she says. And I wish in fact, when she was talking to me, I was like, I wish I was recording this. I have to get my mother on because it was unsolicited. She was just divulging how great this product is. And I thought, wow, I got to share this. I think the next time we talk, I might have to have Mom get on here because she backs this up. And not a lot of things help my mother, but this sure did. I mean, she talks about her focus on tasks, better memory, increased verbal acuity, motivation and discipline to get things done, productivity, mental clarity. See what the best brain fuel formula on earth can do for your mindset. Go to qualialife.com/IOU for up to $100 off Qualia Mind. And as a listener of Inside of You, use code IOU at checkout for an additional 15% off any purchase. For your convenience, Qualia Mind is also available at select GNC locations near you.
That's qualialife.com/IOU and use code IOU for an additional 15% off to experience life-changing mental performance from Qualia Mind.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
And so I get into first class, and there's like Tim Allen, Rene Russo, Stanley Tucci,
Jesus.
Dennis Farina. I'm like, bye, guys. Then we get down to Coral Gables, Florida, and they put me up in this huge suite. I'm like, son of a bitch, this is terrible because it's all going away
It's just
tomorrow.
pressure. It's just all the stuff you're feeling, right? You're gonna get fired.
all nerves, all nerves.
Yeah.
And the read-throughs the next day. Terrified.
Were you prepared?
Yes, but it doesn't matter. I'm getting fired. Right?
Yeah, I know that. I know that feeling. I've been executive producer and lead actor on a series, and I felt like I was going to get fired because I didn't have a good table read.
Yeah.
You hear stories. My friend
I've
John,
been a part of a film where the actress didn't take the table read seriously, and it pissed off the director, and there was no recovering, and she got fired about 2 weeks in. Yeah.
Nobody's safe.
Yeah, nobody's safe. And it was a big actress.
So you go on to this table read.
Oh, the table read. So, okay, every fucking scene, every line I have is with Tom Sizemore. So we start going. We're about 10 minutes in, and I'm doing my Southern accent is slightly more pronounced for this character than I usually talk. And so he gives me a line. I give him a line back. He's about to give me a line. He's like, "Where did you get this accent from?" And he looks at me and he looks at Barry Sonnenfeld. And I was like, fuck.
Called you out in front of everybody.
Like Stanley Tucci's on the other side, looks at me and like, and I thought he was
upset with you.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
No.
But everybody, Farina, all these great actors. And I was just like, you know what? I felt like Sylvester Stallone in Rhinestone. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die my way. And I was like, fuck him. I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened around 30 minutes later. Oh, you're still doing that accent, Barry, come on. And I was just like, motherfucker.
You hated him at this moment.
No, I didn't hate him. I was just frightened, right? It wasn't all about him.
He made you feel less than. He made you feel like you were doing something wrong.
I walked in feeling less than. And
but
then
now
he just, oh my God. Yeah, Billy Barty could have dunked on me. And so after the reading, I'm going upstairs to pack. And Sonnenfeld comes over. He's like, don't pay attention to Tom. You're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing. And Sonnenfeld actually didn't tell me this that day. I did a movie with him about a year later. And he goes, I actually pulled Tom aside that day and told him if he didn't start picking it up, he's going to be in trouble. Something along those lines.
Like he was the one who was in trouble.
Like, Jesus, I wish you'd have told me that day. Because I packed, thinking that I'm done. It's what's that saying, like worrying about something's paying interest on a debt you might not ever know. That's I did a lot of that, and I still do sometimes, but I'm better about it.
I think it's just with, I guess, the older you get, the less you give a shit. The more experience you have, the less you give a shit. Even though we all still give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like the young me, I was so ambitious. I was like anything. I would just have drive. I'd knock on anybody's door. I'd say whatever I wanted. I did. And I feel like the older I get, I have less of that, less ambition.
Yeah, I don't really leave the house that much.
Me neither. I get anxiety when I leave the house.
It's just, do I want to go out, or I'm happier here with my girlfriend and my dog and my kids.
Yeah.
What else do I need?
But did it happen more? It was just really those two times in that one table read.
That was with him being mean to me.
Dick.
Oh, for the first 2 weeks, just
berating you.
Yeah. And after that, he saw that I could pretty much, I didn't react at all, except for I would get home and email someone the hilarity for the day. It was all stories for me. Right.
Right.
I didn't care.
Yeah. He never apologized. He never said, okay, you're cool.
No, there's not that. He didn't even know what he was doing. Right. He wasn't even aware of what he was doing.
It just, yeah.
But after the first 2 weeks, he's like, wow, this guy's all right. And I imagine he's like, this guy's all right. And then he loved me and would get upset if other people talked to me. He would like get combative with other people if they came up and talked to me while I was standing next to him.
So weird.
Yeah.
What is that?
He was a real peach.
I mean,
great actor, but
yeah,
there's other stories which I won't share.
Yeah.
But
I've had people intimidate me and try to, put me in my place for some reason. Like I was just being nice and being me and outgoing and them just like, oh, it's you. We've talked about that, Ryan. But this one actor, he was just like, you're that guy, huh? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he just kind of looked at me and go, yeah, all right. And walked away. I'm like,
Was he like someone on your level or someone bigger
He
than
was an
you?
older actor who done a lot of movies and stuff, but just, I don't know. He was like, and I'm used to people liking me, because I'm nice and fun.
Yeah.
I think. So I'm one of those guys, if 100 people, 99 people are laughing at my joke and one person isn't, I'm like, what the
That's
fuck?
what you focus
And
on.
but this guy went out of his way to like use just a dick. And it really like, it just, the feeling you get, like the nerves, the like kind of like shame, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm just like, dad just fucking yelled at me.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. And that's how that authority thing, when someone talks down to me or someone is short of me, I go out of my way. Sometimes I should shut up, and I go out of my way to speak up for myself. That happened with
Good for you.
Who are those two directors who directed those big Marvel movies? The Russo brothers. They came in because they fired the creator of the show I was on, this pilot. It was like me and Henry Winkler and some people, and I love him. The nicest man on the planet. He's like my father. The guy's awesome. And the Russos came in, and one of the Russos was awesome and fun to work with, and the other guy was just, I don't know what was happening, but like day one, he's like, "You over there, go." It was yeah.
One
it was
of the
like,
Russo
go over there, and I go,
one of the
"Hey,
Russo guys?"
Yeah, they did a bunch
right.
of Marvel movies and stuff,
Yeah.
and I said, "Can we just talk about it?" Because he goes, "No, don't be a problem. Walk over." And everything started spiraling, and I let it go. And Henry goes, "Michael, it's fine. Let it go. It's fine. I know what's happening. Just there's a lot of pressure." And then something's, he said, "All right, say your line," and he goes, I go, "I'd like to try it like this," and he just like goes, "No, you're not." It was just like completely belittling, and I go, "You know what? Fuck this, man. I don't like how you're talking to me at all. Since the first time you gave me direction, it's like, what's going on with you?"
In front of everybody?
Oh yeah, I just fucking called him out.
And what was his retort?
His brother, who was really cool, goes, "Hey guys, why don't we just go talk about this?" And I go, "Sure." And I went and I sat there and talked to him, and he looked at me and he was like, he said some things. He's like, "Here's what I want. We're under a lot of pressure. You need it." I go, "This is still a creative process. I know you guys are under a lot of pressure. You can't talk to people like that. It drives me crazy. I'm a collaborative, fun person. You can't do that." And everything was funny. He's like, "All right, I apologize. Won't happen again." Sure enough, 3 days later, the fucker yelled at me again. I go, "Dude, what the fuck?" And his brother goes, "Let's talk about this."
Oh,
was
his brother always?
His brother was always just chill. And
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I don't have anything against them. They're really talented guys. But it was just, I remember I was the one who like kind of said something.
Yeah.
I always feel like
you
I have to
should.
say something. And maybe because I was always the small, insecure, less than kid growing up. But you weren't. You were popular in high school, right?
I mean, it was a small high school.
Where was it?
In Knoxville, Tennessee.
In Knoxville.
Yeah.
But you played baseball?
Yeah, I was baseball.
And you were good.
It's the only thing I was ever pretty good at, so
You're being
I love
modest.
baseball.
I love baseball.
I love it. My son plays, and it's so fun.
You coach him?
I coached him until he was 12. And then he got on, he started playing travel ball, and I just kind of drive him to the games and support
Right.
now.
You didn't want to be that overbearing father who was like, you need to do this. Did you feel like you were trying to do everything the opposite of maybe your dad
I
was?
feel like up until 12, I felt like I can teach those kids. But then you start grinding down on certain things about your swing, and I felt
The mechanics and all that.
there's, even though it's so different teaching that it is doing. And it took me, when I first started teaching him when he was 6, coaching, these kids didn't even know how to throw a ball. And I never thought about how to tell someone to throw a ball.
Do you just throw it? Here's what you do.
Yeah.
It was easy because you're telling him like things that you didn't feel like you were, it wasn't beneath you.
I don't know how to.
Common
I
sense?
don't know how to tell someone to throw a ball. And it's just like, okay, knuckles to the ground and bring it on around. Just.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's just so. But yeah, it's so fun.
Well, did you ever, you seem like such a laid back dad. Like you never get on their case or anything like that. Or were you ever like, you need to hustle?
No, I never get on him like that. I don't yell, I will if he's pitching and the umps don't give him a strike. I get some of the two of my friends that are parents are like, come on, you just got to lay off of him the ump a
You
little.
really go at it?
I don't realize it that I'm going at it. And it's all right. But with Rocco, I'm just always supportive,
That's the best
And
way.
if he does something, we talk about it on the way home. Like,
I mean, did you always want to get into acting, or is it something that always interested? Were you a moviegoer? Did you, as a kid, you just always like, I want to do that. I want to do that.
as a family, we ate dinner around the TV, either watching Sanford and Son or the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
And often we watch films too as a family around the TV. I can't tell you how much time I spent in front of the television set growing up. And I was active. I played baseball, basketball, and football, but that's kind of how we bonded. And so I don't know, I was around 13 or 14, whatever reason. I don't know why. Because I think I was like, well, shit, I'm going into high school and then college, and I have no idea what I'm interested in,
Yeah. Nobody does.
You have to make choices. And I was like, I don't know. And then, I don't know, one day I was like, oh, maybe I was sitting there playing ColecoVision.
Dude, I had a ColecoVision.
Yeah.
Rocky versus, remember Rocky game?
Yeah.
And,
I love the Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong, Cuber.
And I just, whatever it got in my head that I wanted to become an actor.
And you started doing high school plays?
I did one.
What was it?
I played Danny Zuko in Grease.
You played the lead?
Yeah.
You could sing?
No, that's the funny part. I couldn't sing or dance or really deliver a performance then.
Wait a minute. They cast you as Danny Zuko as the lead role, and you can sing, dance, and you really didn't know what you were doing.
No.
Come on, if somebody watched a tape of this, would they agree with you?
You can go on my Instagram and there's video of me playing Danny Zuko, and it will corroborate everything that I am telling you right now.
Didn't you have to sing as Danny Zuko?
Yeah.
So like you sang all those songs, but not in tune?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know if they're in tune. I've heard they weren't even close to being in tune, but I'm tone deaf. I'm with apparently I sing all the time in the car and I don't even realize.
Did they say you could sing?
No one has ever said that I can sing. I remember.
You get loud about it.
I remember. No. I remember I asked Karen O to sing a song for Jackass #2. And she wrote a song and she's like, you're going to sing on it with me. I'm like, Karen, I can't sing. Yeah, you can. You have a nice talking voice. You can sing. I can't sing. Anyway, we go to
studio.
We go to record it. Sure enough, I start singing. I do 3 or 4 takes, and you could just see it wash over her face. That this guy, he was not lying. I'm like, okay, just turn me down.
I love that the director of this Grease production, by the way, coincidentally, was my first play was Grease.
Really?
And I wasn't going to do anything. And I did it. I was nervous as shit. And that got me started to get the acting juices going. But it was Grease my senior year.
Oh, what did you play?
I played the DJ Vince Fontaine. Remember, hey, it's the main brain, it's Vince Fontaine. Yeah, and I was just like, it wasn't until the end of the play when we went out for our, when you get out there for the applause, and I heard the applause, and I was like, oh, okay. Not being me is the way to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to be someone else. That's where I got it. I was like, that immediate instant gratification sort of thing. Did you like that when people clapped for you, didn't they?
Oh yeah, no, I loved the applause. Even like playing sports growing up, like sometimes like playing football, this is terrible. But I would fake an injury on a play just so I could run off the field. And then the very next play, I'm like, put me in, coach. And when you go in the very next play, you get a lot of applause.
Yeah.
So that was great.
So you milked that.
Oh my God. I did that more than once,
Yeah. So you think you got into this business like me, where it's like you loved people appreciating you or clapping for you or praising you?
Well, that part, sure, I like, but I got into it just because I'm like, I don't know what I want to do for a job. I don't want to
That was
work.
it.
That was the big reason. It was like, what thing can I do that doesn't feel like work? And I imagined that acting won't feel like work.
But it does. You learn that.
No, it is. I mean, but it ain't digging ditches.
No,
It's
You're
not
right. You're right.
gnarly manual. It is work, and you have to prepare, and but that's what spawned it. I was just like the loud one,
Were you always funny? You're always like the class clown?
I don't know. My dad was really funny, and so I tried to be funny. Sometimes I was probably more successful than others.
Inside of You is brought to you by Lumen. Lumen is one of the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that can help measure your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if it detects if you're burning fat or carbs, gives you tailored guidance to help improve your nutrition, workout, sleep, and even stress management.
All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and it will tell you what it sees on with your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs.
Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements.
All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and it will tell you what it sees that's going on with your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs.
Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. It's pretty incredible. I mean, talk about right there, right now, you know what's going on with you. And you can also breathe into it before and after workouts, meals. So Lumen can tell you exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips to keep you on top of your wellness game.
Your metabolism is your body's engine, and it's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel that keeps you going.
Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does. Optimal metabolic wellness translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep. Lumen gives you recommendations to help improve your metabolic wellness.
It can also track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause and adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism in good shape through hormonal shifts, so you can keep up your energy and stave off cravings.
So if you want to take the next step in helping to improve your health, go to lumen.me/inside to get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/inside for 15% off your purchase. That's lumen.me/inside to get 15% off your Lumen. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. But you really found him funny. As bad as he was, this one half, the other half was really fun. You enjoyed being around. And did you kind of forgive him for all that? Did he apologize when you got older? Did you guys make amends on that stuff?
I just realized that he couldn't stop, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't. And you can want someone to stop, but they have to want to stop.
Yeah.
And he had a real problem. But when he wasn't drinking, he was fucking hilarious. Just walk in, take over any room, start telling jokes.
Do you think you do that now, or you became that?
I don't.
Because I always, the persona that you have like on screen and being like watching you thinking everybody knows you, obviously you're much more laid back and more of an introvert, but like you see how much you love to laugh and love to be around people who make you laugh. And I think that's a big part of your thing is you want to surround yourself with people that make you laugh, that you enjoy being around.
Yeah, no, I like being in that situation. But again, I also like being in situations where someone's making a complete ass of themselves.
You do. You will like watching people.
I love when it gets uncomfortable.
Anything.
To a point. To it, like certain subject matter, I don't. When it gets dark, I can't. But if someone's just being an ass. I love it. And if I can like help in any way, if I can twist a screw
Yeah.
here or there.
Well, if you were on the set with Christian Bale when he did his thing where he went nuts, would you have
I've-
enjoyed
I've-
that?
I don't know. I think he's a great. I've met him. He's very nice.
Do you think you would have been like, ha?
Yeah, it depends. It's situational how I would react. Yeah, like I remember I was flying out of Mexico once, and you can keep this in or out. I don't know if it's even worth talking about. But I was sitting at the counter, and this father whose arm was in a sling and his face was bloody walked up to the counter with, it felt like his 15-year-old stepson. And his stepson, I don't know what milligram of Oxycontin or whatever he was on, but he was just swaying in back and forth. And I was like, what the? And they were just arguing back and forth. The guy was just yelling at him. It was the most bizarre. Like they just come from a car wreck. It looked like. It looked like something out of a movie. I looked around for cameras. I'm like, am I being fucked with? So I just took my phone out of my pocket. I had a cowboy shirt on, and I just hit play and stuck it in my shirt. And I followed them around the airport for, I don't know, for the next 30 minutes.
And it didn't stop?
They went into the bathroom. I just walked into the bathroom like I had to do something. And he was just yelling at his son. His son was like, so fuck off. And it was just all this drama. Then they get on my plane. And by that time, he was, the kid, by the time we landed, the kid came around, you know? And as we stood up to get off the plane, this big dude behind me got in the father's face. It's like, you need to be a little easier on him. And, which is true.
Yeah.
And then we were walking off the plane, and the kid walks up to me. I'm sitting next to him. He looks at me. He goes, Knoxville. And like he
had no idea.
Like, I've been following you around for the past 2 hours, bro. You know, like I know you a lot better than you know me. I even cut a little movie of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So that's
like
stuff,
a gift. It was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
It's like watching a train wreck, and you just got to keep watching.
Yeah.
Just rubbernecking the whole thing.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, if you could, this is a weird question. Do you think if you could do it all over again, you would just maybe not do the Jackass stuff because of all your injuries and all the shit that you've, endured, and just try to just do the acting and not do all this stuff? Or is it something you're like, hey, I love every minute of it? Maybe it's not that easy.
Some things I can do, like the pranks the pranks and stunts where I'm not going to get a concussion.
You have how many? 16?
Yeah. So,
but you love it.
You can't get the toothpaste back in the tube. So, what am I going to do?
I mean, look, it's been an awesome ride, right? I mean,
there are things that I would want to do over, but Jackass is not one of them.
There's some things maybe in Jackass you might have not done.
Well, sure. There are some bits that were like, they looked a lot better on paper than they actually, because sometimes a bit you think is going to work out really good just tanks, and some you have no faith in
are awesome.
Yeah.
Just one reaction makes the whole
one
thing
reaction fun. Or maybe it's not even a prank. It's not a reaction. It's just something happens that elevates it.
What's like do you have a lot of issues with your back? Because I've had 9 spine surgeries. I've had a lot of that shit. But 16 concussions.
What did you
ice hockey and sports my whole life, so I've got fusion here, and they tried a disc replacement, didn't work. I've 7 surgeries on my lower spine, L3, L4, L5, S1, and
how long do those put you down for?
3 to 6 months sometimes, but
you've had 9 periods in your life where you're down 3 to 6 months?
Oh, easily. And like I'm in perpetual pain. Like I live with pain. So when I heard all the things you've done to your body, I felt like I wonder if he lives with pain all the time. Like, what your pain is, other people would be like, oh my God, I gotta go see a doctor, but you're so used to it. You have a certain threshold.
I don't know. I don't know what other people feel, but I do know that I can get used to something, you
You can
know?
get used to any kind of pain as long as it's not like nerve pain shooting down your legs.
It's amazing what you just can tell yourself is normal.
Really, you think your mind could help you with pain?
Well, I'm not that in touch with my body. I tend to ignore things.
Do you have headaches?
It's mostly the big problem is my lower back. I've blown out the lower part of my back, and
So you can't be on your feet for too long?
got around at the end of Jackass 2, it was like I'd been in a gnarly car crash. The two lower discs were blown out, and what was happening, I didn't know what was happening, but I would walk, and then my back would seize up and I could no longer stand, and I would go down. And what, as you know, probably it's the psoas muscles in your stomach are trying to protect your lower back, and they get hard to protect. And when they do that, oh man, it is pain, and
It
you
is
go
pain.
down.
It's this pain that kind of shoots from like the front and the back. It's
Yeah.
kind of like this. It's like this. I always talk about like it's this weight that's on your lower
Yeah.
spine. Like somebody put like weights
Yeah.
down there, and you just feel it drags you fucking down.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Like, I mean, obviously you deal with it, but
Ah,
like, do you go to therapy? Do you get you do pain pills? You get epidurals?
I tried a number of anti-inflammatories.
Do any of them work?
Finally landed on a great one because I tried those patches. I tried a number of
Everything in my cabinet. Everything.
yeah, and and there's one anti-inflammatory I can't take because it breaks
Stunt.
me out in a rash from head to toe, and Celebrex, I can't. So we had to be careful with what I was taking. But diclofenac,
Will you write that down? Diclofenac.
yeah, it's that's the it's not the brand name, but
Diclofenac.
Diclofenac. And also,
That really helps.
yeah, it really
Like
helps.
it just takes a lot of that pain.
it just
Better than a Tylenol and a Aleve.
it's not a pain. It doesn't.
More anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, that, and I started exercising my legs and ass and stomach to support my back.
And
But
that
it
did.
took like 6 to 8 months to get it where I could. And also, I found this great chiropractor, and
Write this down.
he, I have to call him actually now because I'm having just, it's all right. I can feel it, right? I can feel my back seizing up. And he has a number of things he does, but one is he takes his thumb and he just sticks it in your stomach. I didn't know what he was doing the first time. And then he explained what he
Is
was
that
doing.
the psoas stuff?
Yeah.
He pushes on that. Yeah.
And
It releases.
yeah, it really hurts, right?
It
at
does. But
first.
then you get used to
then
it.
then it releases on both sides, and then it's just like you're a brand new man.
It's amazing when they work the psoas.
It's great.
Yeah, people don't know a lot about that, but when you have back pain, the psoas, it's in your stomach. It's almost like if you're pushing down on the right or left of your stomach, just deep as you can go. You have to find it though.
Yeah, it's like between your hip. It's a certain angle between your hip and your belly button. I actually have taken a picture of his thumb imprints on my stomach so I can tell if I'm on the road or something, I can tell someone where to push.
And there's
With eye contact, of course.
Oh yes,
Yes.
But there's devices that you can have. I have one that you can
Oh,
lie
the little
on it.
plastic thing.
Yeah,
that
you have
lay
that.
on.
It doesn't help as much.
No. You need someone like giving you pressure.
I feel like massagers don't really help because they release endorphins, but then it makes it worse almost. Do you feel like that? Like it feels
Massages
good.
have never like worked for my back.
No, it's my neck mostly. My neck's the worst. I have like a bulging disc right under my
Oh.
fusion. It's fucking brutal.
Jesus Christ.
It's
You're a wreck.
yeah, I'm a wreck. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know that so many of us are using BetterHelp. Ryan here, Ryan,
Yep, I'm using it
every week,
every week.
and it helps you.
Oh yeah.
It certainly does. I think we have things bottled up all the time that we just need to let go, and talking to someone truly, truly helps. Also, as an adult, do you make it a point to carve out time to learn new things as often as you'd like? Or is the day to day life so busy you feel like you'll never recapture that sense of childlike wonder? Kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. What's something you'd like to learn? Gardening, a new language, or maybe how to finally beat your best friend in bowling? Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder because your back to school era can come at any age. Therapy is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. And it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. Therapy is for everyone. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. If you don't like your therapist, you change it. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/inside today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/inside. One of my favorite movies of all time is Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Oh, thank you.
Was that your idea to do it?
I met this guy I knew. He's like, oh, I was talking about, I don't know whether it was Jesco White. I guess I was talking about Jesco. He's like, hey, I know one of the guys who worked on that. I'm like, really? I would love to meet him. His name's Julian Nitzberg. He's actually the one who he directed Wild and Wonderful Whites.
So good.
He worked sound or something on that. And we went to lunch, and he said he was initially making a documentary on Hazel Atkins, who lives in Boone County too. He was doing, do you know who Hazel Atkins is? You should check him out. He's like a crazy rockabilly, psychobilly. He heard a Hank Williams record when he was growing up and heard all the vocals and the bass, the drums, everything. He's like, wow, but there's only one name on this. He must be playing everything. So he was a one-man band because he thought Hank Williams did it. I'm going to become a one-man band. And he loves to sing songs about chickens and decapitation. Those are two of his favorite things.
Jesus.
And he is fucking great. He had a big influence on the Cramps.
Oh, wow.
But Julian was making the documentary on him. And he quit because Hazel threatened to kick and kill him. And Julian said, well, can you kill me first? And he was in Boone County where Jesco lives, and he went to a bar and he met Mamie. And Mamie's like, hey, you should meet my brother. He's a best dancer around and Elvis impersonator. And Julian loves that. That was music to Julian's ears. So anyway, we go to lunch, Julian and I, and we're talking. We're like, well, what do you think Jesco's up to now? And that was the genesis of Wild and Wonderful Whites.
You had no idea it was going to come across like this.
No, we just went in I contacted Van Toffler and Jeff Yap at MTV. I think we went to Jeff first, and Jeff went to Van, and Van has always backed whatever. When we got out of line or in trouble, Van was always there to bail us out. He's like, yeah, I'll give him the fucking money. And he gave us for 3 days, and we went in and just see what they were up to now. And after those 3 days, it was like, wow.
You were there every day?
No, I didn't go.
You didn't go.
I would have been a distraction.
But you got some of the stuff, and you were like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're going for it.
This is gold. Because
Yeah.
I went to the premiere for it. They had a premiere for it, for that movie, and I was just like, I was in awe. I couldn't believe how funny and it was just all these things. I've never seen anything like it. If you haven't seen that. And Dick House still does a lot of stuff. Like you're on top of, like, you have projects coming to you a lot, or is it just something you come up with?
Yeah, you can pitch. Yeah, I listen to pitches, or Jeff and I will listen to pitches. We're not really great at it.
You're like, okay, thanks.
No, we try to be thankful, but just sometimes, like, Jeff will sit there and he's listening, and then you see whatever that his phone come out and he's playing a game.
Boy. Oh my God. You're like, dude.
I know. Or like I've been in pictures with Jeff, and I'm sure I do things too that he's like, what are you doing? But I've been in pictures with Jeff where, wow, that was something happened. I'm like, that was terrible. Like we said something and they didn't like it, and it just went downhill from there. I'm like, was that was really uncomfortable? He's like, huh? I thought it was great. It's like he just has no clue.
That's the person you want to work with.
Yeah, he has no clue. But I can be a problem too.
Pretty Sure I Can Fly.
Yeah.
The podcast.
Yes.
I mean, I look at like it just the idea you explore and celebrate the remarkable and slightly unhinged people who have pushed history forward and redefined the limits of human potential. I think that is history something like historical figures, something you always were into.
There's two things, or there's many things I like, but like I love finding a song I've never heard before. And it makes me so happy, right?
Yeah.
Same with some nut from history. It just thrills me. Because my cousin and I have a radio show, the Big S Happy Family Jubilee on Sirius
Roger.
XM, Roger Allen Way.
Right.
Saturday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Where's it on?
Sirius XM, the Outlaw Channel. But we do different tributes to some nut each week. And
well, you say nut, it could be a president. It could be like a prime minister like Winston Churchill. It could be something like that.
Yeah. God, we're doing it.
And
trying to remember, like this week, we're doing it to the guy who, you see Best Little Whorehouse in Texas?
Yep.
He was the real character Dom DeLuise was playing.
Oh,
that
wow.
was an actual person, Millard someone. So that's who our tribute is for this week. And that wouldn't necessarily work for Pretty Sure I Can Fly, because we usually pick a historical figure that has really laid it on the line physically, or not always, but most of the time.
Like Theodore Roosevelt, would you do him? Was he nutty enough?
That's been brought up. Like this week we interviewed Courtney Dauwalter. She's a ultra marathon runner, the best female ultra marathon runner all time. Maybe best male or female. She beats men most of the time.
Wow.
Right? Just gnarly. I mean, she's running 100-mile races, 200-mile races.
Jesus.
Like there's a 300-mile race, and like a couple of times she's went blind near the end of the race. You know, she started to lose her vision, and she just keeps going.
So people who really push themselves beyond what a normal person can even do or try to do.
Yeah, like that's just insane.
And that's who you want to talk about.
Yeah, or like Colonel John Paul Stapp. He was a flight surgeon, physician, and he also led groundbreaking experiments on deceleration. It was in the 40s. They're trying to see what it was like for pilots to bail out at high altitudes because they didn't know, right?
Right. Just not knowing and doing these tests.
Yeah, I mean, he was a brilliant man, and he got these first at Morrick Army Air Base, which became the Air Force, and Edwards Air Base. But he had this long track, and he often did the experiments himself, which is the main thing. He looked like an allergist. You would not think this guy is as gnarly as he was, but he would go from several hundred miles an hour to a dead stop within 1.6 seconds, because they thought that a man could only withstand 18 Gs. So they only built the canopies to withstand 18 Gs. And he had access to all the records, and he knew that pilots had lived past 18 Gs. But it was the canopy or the plane that failed. So He's also the reason we have seat belts. Anyway, he eventually experienced 46.2 G's, the most G's ever voluntarily
Like double, more than
experienced.
double. Wow.
Yeah, almost
That's
2.5
suicide.
times. And he went blind a couple times for a few days. Like before this last big run where he became the fastest man. He actually became the fastest man on the planet for land speed a couple years earlier. But for the big run, I think he approached 632 miles an hour, which was faster than a bullet out of a 45 then. And that's when the week before, he thought, I may go blind. And he went around his house with his eyes closed, like
Figuring
making
everything
coffee,
out. Yeah.
eating, because he thought this could be
That's
it.
insane.
Yeah.
Like what it takes to be in that mindset.
He was brilliant. And
Jesus.
he was a contemporary of Chuck Yeager.
And you already
Colonel
talked about
Joseph
him.
Kittiger. And
I got to listen to this one. This one already aired?
yeah, I think I told the story. Yeah, just people like that.
That's great.
I just love.
I
I'll
love this
shut
shit.
up because I can
No,
talk
I
about.
love this shit. I think this is exactly what people. This is so different than anything else.
The night before
That's out
Yeager
there.
broke the sound barrier, he broke his ribs. You know, he's riding horses with his wife, and a gate was open, and he thought it was closed. He thought it was open, and he fell off and broke his ribs. And the one that patched him up was Stapp.
Wow.
You know,
So you got Smartless Media back in this.
yes,
That's like the biggest. I mean, they're huge.
yeah.
So Pretty Sure I Can Fly. It's out now. You can listen to it anywhere.
Shit, I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think.
All right, this is called Shit Talking with Johnny Knoxville. It's rapid fire. It's my patrons. I love you. Patreon.com/inside of you. Nico P, did you consider your stunt work addictive?
Yeah, I think I did get addicted eventually. Yeah, to the big stunts I got addicted to, and I'm still dealing with that.
Little Lisa, who's been the most influential person in your life?
I would say my father.
Wow.
Yeah, very complicated.
Hey, but there's love.
Yeah.
You know? Nick W, who was more fun to work with, Arnold or The Rock?
It sounds like a bullshit answer, but they both were great. And, I got to work with Jackie Chan too. And you work with these people and you see why they are who they are.
Yeah.
You know, there was not 1 second wasted with Schwarzenegger. Like we were flying somewhere for press and he's on the plane, like writing thank you letters to people or doing this or doing that. It was like there was nothing wasted. And he's all three of them are all positive. You know, no negativity.
Shit, poor me.
You'll see like as you like, who's successful they're always positive.
Yeah.
Negativity just eats at you.
No, I know. If you had to guess, Jeremy C says, how many injuries have you had over the years? If you had to guess a number,
Oh, I have no fucking clue.
would you say 50, 100?
I would say between 50, 100,
Linda M, apart from work, what really makes you happy?
Being at home with my kids and dog and hanging out with my girlfriend. And like when my daughter asked me to go in the backyard and hit volleyball with her, or my son asked me to go, will you throw with me, Dad?
You love it.
Yeah,
You look like you got a little emotional from that.
I did. I'm getting, that's another thing about me.
I love
I'm
it.
becoming so sensitive. I've cried like 3 times on Pretty Sure I Can Fly.
Really?
Yeah, like,
That's good though, right? It means you're empathetic. You're vulnerable.
oh my God. It's like, yeah, like both of my parents like would get emotional, and at times I don't expect, like I had Manny Puig on, our alligator guy, our alligator safety guy on Jackass.
Right.
He's like, if Manny says don't do it, fucking don't do it, because he'll let you do anything. If he says don't do it, listen. But I did an interview with him, and the guy spent his whole life. He's Tarzan. He wanted to be Tarzan, and diving in swamps at night with alligators, bringing them to the surface, spending the night out there. He loves any animal that can kill you, and had a great show with him on Pretty Sure I Can Fly. And at the end, I was just telling him goodbye. God damn it, it's happening again.
Just saying goodbye, and you just started crying.
Well, I'm not fucking crying, but I did choke up.
No, I'm not saying that, but like, what was it about that made you get emotional with him?
I think because I worry about him. Like, it's like, shit, man, who knows when, if you keep taking chances, you only have so many
chances.
Yeah, you can take. And I just worry about him, and I'm so happy he's still here.
Don't you feel that way about yourself, though? Like there's only so many chances you could take because you've taken a lot of chances. I mean, are you afraid of death?
I don't really think about it. With the stunts, I reached a place doing stunts. I never wanted to do anything that was going to kill me, but I had to reach a place of like, I've never done this before, and it's fucking dangerous, and I can't walk into a stunt being frightened of death, right? Because then you're going to be
all tense, and
then that's the worst. Then you don't commit. If you go into a stunt and you don't commit, it's really going to be bad. You got to want to be there. Is what has silly as crazy as it is sometimes, you got to want to do what you're doing because it's the negativity thing.
But what if you are feeling that way? I'm sure there's moments where you're like, you are nervous, you are tense.
Yeah,
you go on with it anyway.
Yeah, you just do it. Yeah, you just manage.
So you've gone on scared shitless and just done
it. Usually if it's a big thing, I'll be the most frightened. I'll get like a week before, 5 days before, but as it gets closer, I can squash that, and then I just want to get to the set that morning and do it then.
Like, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Be ready when I get there.
Yeah, I've taught, Jeff knows. I'm like, Jeff, just get the set ready, and when you need me, call me. I'll walk into the ring, let the bull run over me, and then we'll go to lunch, Jesus. And it just, because if you're like, oh, I'll do it later, you're not going to do it.
Yeah. You think you're going to do another Jackass movie?
I don't know.
What do your kids want? Do they ever say, no, don't do it, Dad?
Well, after the last concussion on Jackass Forever, which really gave me problems for 6 months. It was a traumatic brain injury with concussion, brain hemorrhage, and broke my wrist, ribs. And then the neurologist is like, you can't have another concussion. And I know that, can imagine how it scared my kids. And I told him, I'm like, look, Dad's not going to do that anymore. Any stunt where I could possibly get a concussion, or I didn't say when my life's at risk, because I didn't want to put that in their head. Just Dad's not going to do that anymore. Right. So
this has been awesome, dude. You're such a
That wasn't really rapid fire. I was like,
no, those are mine. Those are my questions. The other ones, when I said their name first, those are rapid. Then it got into me because you started talking about something, and then I started,
Okay.
But
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, those weren't rapid, and they needed not to be rapid. They needed to be drawn out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not very rapid.
No, but I look. Pretty Sure I Can Fly. You can listen to it anywhere. And is it true that sometimes you, before stunt, you get in your car and you listen to your Roger Allen Wade, your cousin, and you listen to his music before you go out?
Yeah, when I say Jeff, just when you need me, call me. I will turn off my music, you know, my cousin's songs, and then
Is it
I'm
one
ready.
song in particular that just
Um,
gets you there?
there's like 3 or 4 of his. Sometimes I don't know if I'll make it. He wrote one for me specifically called Coheris. Brainerd Road. Will do it. Yeah. And then there's a few other songs that will do it, but it's always like songs from back home, like Towns Van Zandt
Yeah,
song,
yeah.
or, you know.
Don't you like how my dog's just coming here at the end of the
Well, come
interview?
here. No, my dog's, what kind is it?
That's a little mixed pit, and the other one's a big Roddy mix.
Oh,
But
beautiful.
they're lovely. You have a dog?
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
Bucket. She's a mutt.
This is my new product. It's for you. It's for their breath.
Oh,
It's awesome.
puppy fresh
Yeah,
breath.
it's Rosie's. Picture of me in the back of the dog. It's awesome. You just put it in your dog's water bowl, and it's odorless, tasteless. They don't even know it, and they drink it, and the breath's good.
Shit.
I like good breath with my women and with my dogs.
I might let Tremaine try a little of this.
Use it. It's great. This has been wonderful.
you.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
The podcast, Pretty Sure I Can Fly. Listen to it. I mean, you're always interesting. You always make people think, and you are who you are. And it seems like who you've always been. You're just that guy. And I appreciate you being here, man.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Jim.
it.
Thanks, Johnny. Thank you, Johnny. That was great. Johnny was great. He did great. He was smart. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. And a reminder, if you want to join Patreon, because we're about to read our top tier patrons, those that give back more than I could ever imagine, and support this podcast. For some of them have been supporting this podcast since the beginning, and it's pretty special. Gets me excited. Also, the Smallville Con is coming up in October, so be there, be square. I'm going to be at New York Comic Con, but I'm not going to be signing. I'm promoting a new show that I'm doing, and it's really dope. So I can't say much more about it now, but I think you'll really dig it. These are the top tiers, and also top tiers get to ask questions, and some of them, we're trying new things too. And top tiers also get merch boxes sent to them every 4 months from me, and with a note and cool stuff. So here are the top tiers: Nancy D, Leah and Kristin, Little Lisa, Yukiko, Jill E, Brian H, Nico P, Robert B, Jason W, Sophie M, Raj C, Jennifer N, Stacy L, Janelle B, Mike and L Don Supremo,
99 more, Santiago M, Leanne P, Maddie S, Kendrick F, Belinda N, Dave H,
Dave Hull,
yeah. Brad D, Ray H, Tabitha T, Tom N, Talia M, Betsy D, Rhiannon C, Corey K, Devin X and Michelle A, Jeremy C, Mr. M,
Eugene and Leah, The Salty Ham, Mel S, Eric H, Oracle, Amanda R, William K. We got Kevin E, Jarrell, Jammin J. We got Leanne J. We got Luna R, Mike F, Jules M, Jessica B,
Kaylee J, Charlene A, Marion Louise L, Romeo the Band,
Yes.
Frank B,
Frank.
Jen T,
Jen.
Nikki L, April RM, Randy S, Rachel D, Jen,
Carolina Girl,
Nick W, Stephanie Nevin.
Stefan,
Mm-hmm.
Charlene A, Don G, Jenny B76, Jennifer R, Tina E, NG Tracy, Keith B, Heather and Greg, Ellie K, Elizabeth L, B, Ben B Jammin, PRC, Sultan, Ingrid C, Brandon C, and Ronit L. Love you guys. Thank you for listening to the podcast as always, and hopefully you're going to enjoy this one and keep listening. And thank you. And from the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California, I'm Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Tejas, and I'm somewhere else.
You're somewhere else. Little wave to the camera. We love you, and as always, please be good to yourself. We'll see you.